And here we are, 15th round. I only saw two nominations this time, McCarthy and Jeffries. That doesn't mean people can't vote for somebody else. All eyes are on Lauren Boebert. How's she going to vote? And he didn't vote for himself. Amazing. Guess he couldn't get nominated. Boebert voted present again. Maybe they can get this thing through. I'm not holding my breath on it. Right now, it's McCarthy 20, Jeffries 16, present 2, 17 for Jeffries. I do hope they get this done. I mean, if they don't get it done, I hope that they stay there for a 17th round. Be there until 3 in the morning, and it deserves them all. Serves them right. So far, the votes are going as expected. Kurt McCarthy just broke 30. So tired. I gotta ask my Sam Jeffries. Jeffries just got to 30. That was expected. This is getting ridiculous, actually. had a physical altercation after the last vote because a couple of backbenchers got to have just had to have their day in the sun. Gates got nasty with McCarthy who went to talk to him, and McCarthy just got tired of it and said, "Okay, whatever," and walked away. And one of his supporters started literally go after Gates, and another member had to pull him back. Sometime in the 1950s, I believe, 56, when the last thing like that happened involved uh, another vote of president. Crane just voted president, and he is splitting out of the chamber. Now, votes of president bring that 434 down to 431, meaning that if McCarthy can get the 216 he had last time, that will put him over the top. Doing one more vote present by a Republican, and we go to a 16th round. Gates votes present again. It really will be time for everybody to go home. The last call for adjournment was until noon on Monday. My personal feeling is that they should adjourn until about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. They can come in there all nice and feel exactly how tired the American people are of this circus of the bizarre. F's. Gates is right at the front of the G's. Yes, we're definitely coming up on Matt Gaetz. That should guarantee Gates' vote of present should guarantee McCarthy the, the seat. I could be wrong. I have done my math correctly, and votes of present are not counted as votes, period. Then votes cast in name, if he keeps his 216, this is a done deal. Shortly, probably around 1 a.m. If McCarthy gave in to the pressure of having allowing a single any single House member calling for a vacation for removal of the speaker to vacate the seat. I am certain that Matt Gaetz will do that in the very near future, simply to uh, make himself more the center of attention than he has been for the last 4 days. This rep making a speech before he says who he's voting. I don't think he's got it. Hakeem Jeffries drew 212 last time. McCarthy drew 216, and that left him short. This is going to be interesting as it goes on. And another round of applause for Hakeem Jeffries voting for himself. Amazing. 16. Every president, okay, I had to look it up. Every voted present lowers the threshold needed. So here we are, roughly halfway through. McCarthy's got 114 to 104 for Jeffries. The biggest sign that this is over is that as members are voting, they are leaving almost at a run. Steady stream out of the House chamber after voting. Yes, the five present votes, votes of being present, bring the threshold down to 214 and a half. I think 215. He had 216. So this should be all but over. Another speech. But what McCarthy's had to promise to get these votes, any member and call for a motion to vacate the speaker's chair. Normally, this requires party leadership, but some of the moderates in the House are worried this will make it very, very hard for McCarthy to govern. McCarthy aligned super PAC agreed not to play in open Republican primaries in safe seats. In other words, direct all your money to seats in safe Democratic districts, which is a waste of money. The House will hold votes on key conservative bills, including a balanced budget amendment, which has failed numerous times, congressional term limits, which have failed numerous times, and border security. Uh, Efforts to raise the nation's debt ceiling must be paired with spending cuts. According to CNN, this could become a major issue in the future when it's time to raise the debt limit to avoid catastrophic default because Democrats in the Senate and the White House are likely opposed to demands on spending cuts. There's a very good reason that round of applause for McCarthy voting for himself. The the debt limit ceiling and spending cuts makes for great political theater, but it doesn't take into account that inflation is a compound interest case. Last year's 3% is on top of the 3% the year before that, the 3% the year before that, and it doesn't come out to 9%. It comes out to around 12%, a little higher. So to say we're going to cut spending doesn't take into effect that prices go up, not not another speech before voting. But the whole debt limit with spending cuts doesn't take into account that if prices are going up for you and me, they're going up for the government too, and they could very well make it well very difficult for the military to maintain the equipment they have because they're going to need more money because the parts are going to be more expensive. People don't understand that uh, the army doesn't make these parts; they buy them, and the costs are go up every year. It also means that one of the biggest ways to cut spending is to cut social programs. And just about the time that grandma and grandpa find out that their social security check is going to be cut because the Republicans insisted on it, you're going to see a gray rebellion like has never been seen before. And you meet a lot of people that are not going to be happy. Another thing he gave up or promised was to move appropriation bills individually instead of passing separate bills to fund government operations. Congress frequently passes massive year-end spending package known as an omnibus that rolls everything into one bill. Conservative rail at this, according to CNN, rail against this, arguing that it evades oversight and allows lawmakers to stick in extraneous pet projects. Um, they they use this with reconciliation, where many things were shoved in. The reconciliation bill that gave us the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, included a bill that basically made all student loan funding or the majority of it run through the government, and included in the Student Loan Reform Act was a bill to defund a community action group out of Chicago. I can't remember the name of it, but the appropriation bills are all voted on separately anyways. They're all negotiated. They all take into account things like increased costs of parts, increased costs of maintenance, ongoing training, which are required for several jobs in the government, pay raises, bearing in mind that when I first got out of the military in 1984, $35,000 was a killer salary. You were making bank on that. And today that really is below middle class. So you expect to, to keep spending down in these bills is basically to tell government employees who really are the people that keep the government running. You don't deserve any money. Work for what you worked for in 1984 or whenever. Another thing he gave us more Freedom Caucus representation on committees, including the powerful House Rules Committee. This is political suicide because this will, when this group of conservative malcontents makes a mockery of the House and ends up getting themselves voted out, incoming Democratic majority will undo everything that they did. Kevin McCarthy, with all the things he gave up. Here's another one. Cap discretionary spending at fiscal 2022 levels, which would mean that even though inflation is going up, defense and social security are going to go down in in comparison to the prices that have to be paid. They want 72 hours to review bills before they come to the floor. What this means is the conservative group doesn't know how to use their staff because I have read many government reports. I have, and they will all almost always begin with anywhere from a 3 to 12 page executive summary of the important parts of what in the report. And they do the same thing with these bills as they go around for review. And they're usually written up by the staff members so that the member themselves doesn't have to sit there and read through 250 pages of legislation on some intricate problem. And just because they don't know how to manage their staff or how to pick a chief of staff doesn't mean that the House needs to stop. Another thing that he agreed to restore the Holman Rule, which can be used to reduce the salary of government officials. That's going to go over big because a lot of those government officials are in the executive branch and they're really supposed to be separate. Create an investigative committee to probe the weaponization of the federal government. They're really not going to like that because unless they just write a report of lies, they're going to find out that the most recent weaponization of the government in recent years happened during the years of their hero Donald Trump when he used the IRS to go after his enemies. So that's going to blow up in their face. And he gave up agreeing to give members the ability to offer more amendments to bills on the House floor. That's what the whole point of committee is to amend the bill's original language to make it either more effective, more clear, or to offer up the um, the amendments needed to secure the votes for the bill to pass. Now, that's what's supposed to happen in committee, and the individual House members do have the right to go before the committee and ask for things to be amended or amendments to be made to a given bill. Making Giving the members the ability to make amendments to bill as they're coming up for a vote on the House floor uh, pretty much is going to guarantee that bills either end up not doing what they're supposed to because the amendment that will be added will directly conflict with another section of the bill, making the section that they really did not intend on negating unusable. Courts will have to figure it out, and the odds are the courts are going to say the law is so vague as to be unconstitutional. That's why amendments are made in committee. They have staff members in the committee, as well as to the individual representatives who can look at these things and say, okay, Amendment 14 conflicts directly with Amendment 5, and they negate each other. And they can work that stuff out because every time that amendments have been offered, were able to be offered from the House floor, we ended up with laws that some of them voted down because they were just unworkable and they could not go through conference committee, or the courts just threw them out because when looked at from a legal eye, the laws make no sense. With all the things he's given up to win the speaker's seat, Kevin McCarthy doesn't deserve it. He has given up so much to be the man of the hour that the first time that they have to work with Democrats to get a bill passed, Gates or some other nihilist is just going to stand up, call for the speaker's seat to be vacated, and the House will again be thrown into vote turmoil. Hell, Kevin McCarthy finally has got his seat. This spectacle is over for now. I will guarantee you that first time they have to work across the aisle to get a bill passed, some member of the Freedom Caucus is going to call for a motion to vacate, and we're going to be doing this again in the middle of the congressional session, the 2-year congressional session. And we are going to look, now we're not going to look like the dumbest country in the world. Belgium's gone 580, now 591 days out of government. So we're not going to be the stupidest looking democracy in the world. But as we are supposed to be a beacon of how democracy should work, we're going to become the bellwether of how democracy should not work. I'm going to sign off now so I can go throw up. Y'all have a good night.